And now during the first 10 days of April 2025 there have been 0 volcanic earthquakes. So, what exactly happened? I took a look at Avalanche data, and saw no new signs of uplift. Perhaps the magma intrusion that I interpreted to be ongoing at 6 to 8 kilometers depths ended, failed intrusion? With molten rock now solidifying. After all, this is what happens with the vast majority of magmatic intrusions worldwide. They fail to reach the surface and produce a volcanic eruption. Looking back at the historical record of volcanic unrest episodes on Terceira Island, this pattern also holds. From 1571 to 2020 only 3 out of 11 volcanic unrest episodes resulted in a brand new volcanic eruption, specifically in 1760 to 1761, 1867, and 1998 to 2000. And, of the 3 that did produce eruptions, 2 of those harmlessly occurred offshore underwater. So, can we truly call Terceira's intrusion dead or over quite yet? Maybe, but I still think it is too early to say for sure quite yet. While the current volcanic unrest curve really does suggest that it is, there are 2 possibilities that could suggest the exact opposite. 2 unlikely possibilities. Sometimes, a volcano produces a magmatic intrusion and notable unrest episode that is quite noteworthy, and then it fails. But then, a few months to years later, this intrusion is built off of since it in fact represented precursor activity building to what later becomes a large eruption. Take for example the episode of unrest Indonesia's Ruang volcano produced in April 2022, only for it to produce a major Plinian eruption in April 2024. Or, Rabaul volcano from 1983 to 1985 in Papua New Guinea, which saw an intense earthquake swarm act as a precursor to a major Plinian eruption due to a large shallow magma supply during 1994 to 1995. However, these instances are quite rare. Sometimes, precursor activity can also occur before smaller eruptions such as at Indonesia's Luitalik volcano. It produced an episode of unrest that began in 2015, peaked in 2017, and then declined. However, seismic activity remained above background levels until it produced a second episode of unrest and then actually erupted late in 2020. I am only mentioning this to elaborate on the unpredictable nature of volcanoes, and that we really don't know what will happen next. However, the most likely explanation truly is that the ongoing declining unrest at the Terceira volcano did not represent precursor activity for some future eruption. Besides, none of Terceira's prior historical episodes of unrest represented precursor activity. However, since seismic activity is still elevated, volcanic earthquakes are likely to continue to occur for a few more months at a minimum. This is why, for example, a magnitude 4.6 quake struck nearby earthquake swarmed the island on January 19 of 2025. You may have also felt an earthquake swarm around March 25, but that activity was related to potential unrest at the distant submarine volcano named Dam João de Castro Bank, whose activity is not related to Terceira's recent unrest. If I do not end up making another update video on the Terceira volcano, it is probably a good sign that activity has returned to normal levels. As a final note, I would like to thank my new YouTube channel member Donald Saunders for supporting my work.